Is that crystal clear?
Yep. My name's Luca also.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Just want to bring us in with a little, my name is Luca.
Yeah, he's back. Luca's out there doing his thing, man.
Just want to make sure Luca's in there. What's up? It's Altitude Football with you guys, DMac and Coach Sanford. There's actually quite a bit of news going on today. So maybe we should get right to it. Let's start with the restructuring of the Jalen Waddle contract. Coach, what do you think that's all about?
It's about 2027. I saw it coming clear as day. The Miami Dolphins did something for the Denver Broncos without really knowing it at the time, is they gave out the first year of that contract up front.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, the 2026 cap hit for the Broncos was effectively it was $1.7 million? Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Which for me, I was like, oh, are the Broncos going to kind of save that up and make a big swing at a trade for a running back or a trade for a tight end? Nah,
no,
they weren't. They were thinking about what we've learned is, the friend of yours or even family member that's got a lot of money, and you're like, hey man, just go out and have a nice dinner and buy some drinks. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat at home 7 days a week, and we're gonna shop at Dollar General, and we're gonna get our groceries from Aldi. Like, dude, you don't have to. But you know what's funny is that those same people, while they're kind of sometimes they're the no fun police.
Yeah.
They got money later on,
Yeah.
And that's what the Broncos are doing. That's what George Payton, Greg Penner, even Sean Payton. I think there's total alignment across the board of let's not do stupid. Let's not chase stupid.
Well, I'm going to play you something then. I'm going to play you something because I didn't get your full thoughts on the flag football.
Talk about stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not football. There should be another name for it.
Yeah, I like the opportunities and avenues that are created for non-real male football players, DMac, and I love what flag football has done for females. I mean, what I watched the Valor Regis Holy War of girls flag football was right before our varsity game. I was probably more emotionally hijacked by the ending of that game than I was.
Really?
It was so much fun.
Is girls flag football 5-on-5?
Boy, I don't think so.
Okay.
Great.
I thought with flag football,
I should know that
it was at least 7-on-7. Now, listen, I'm a big fan of participation and activity. So if you have a lesser amount of people and everybody's playing, and flag football essentially is a lot of running around without the physicality of tackle football, obviously.
It's about agility, make you miss, skinny, right?
It's just not football.
It's not football. No.
None of the NFL guys, none of them that were in that game would actually make sense. None of them.
No, they're too big. They're conditioned for the pounding. No matter what position you're at, your body is you've calloused it and created the size to be able to keep up with the Joneses of the physical tackling and blocking and shedding of blocking. It's a completely different sport. But what I will say is it's what I thought was silly about this event with the three teams, one being the USA national flag team with 0 accomplished football players for the most part at a high level of pro football, and really not many were even accomplished college football players.
No.
What I thought was silly about it is once you throw in 46-year-old, how old is Tom? 48 now? 48-year-old Tom Brady, who, by the way, still's kind of got a little something in there.
Well, you can huck it. Yeah.
It's real huck it. Gronk is Gronk, and
sure.
And then of course, when you throw in I show speed and whatever Paul, and I'm not going to give him, I think it was Logan or Jake. I don't care.
It was Logan. Yes.
Then pro athletes shut down. When it becomes even remotely silly, they shut it down.
Yeah, but they had to turn it back on because they were getting humiliated. So, I mean, they shut it down to
A couple
degree.
guys did, right? But like
it was embarrassing there for a while.
You can't go into a competitive environment and be like, I don't know.
All right. Anyways, that's not even what I want to get into. I want to get in the comments of Sean Payton with Kay Adams. So I got to play the whole thing to get to the very end, but the comments I want to talk about are at the end here.
Can you Waddle? What do you love about Waddle?
There's a grit to him. Guys like Teddy Bridgewater, Nick Saban. I mean, a ton of people talk about his high competes. The minute it happened, though, there was this immediate thought he would be perfect for this game.
I knew you were going to say that.
Having had a chance to meet our international team, and I've seen 18 of their games.
You watched 18 games. Is this what you were doing instead of signing people during the first couple of days of free agency?
Yeah, free agency was tough.
Right there. I'm sorry we had to wait all the way to the end there. But when he said free agency was tough, what does that mean, Coach? Why was free agency tough for the Broncos?
I think Sean probably had his eye on certain pieces that both he, George, and Greg all agreed were massive overpays. And that's what, if we've learned anything from this current setup, the three-headed monster, if you will, of the Peytons and the Penners, it's they don't really do much at free agency because they scoff at free agency and say, Kenneth Walker the third, really? 15 million for that guy? Like, wasn't he like competing for the starting role with Zach Charbonnet at the beginning of the year? You know, I mean, that's kind of how they think of things.
Well, I mean, the Seahawks certainly told you what they thought. They let him go.
They did.
And then they paid Jackson Smith-Njigba $42 million a year.
Yep.
So they told you what they thought about the Kenneth Walker. I don't think they were mad at him or anything, but they told you what they thought.
They're happy. They're, you know, he's going to be forever. He's going to be entrenched in Seahawks lore for all time, right?
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. And that's
the point being, when they restructure, free agency was tough. I do think I think they're a little stiff in terms of how they draw lines in the sand at certain salaries. But I do respect why those lines in the sand are drawn, because I think there's strict adherence to certain analytics about value. And so I respect that. I like that a lot. It's funny. I got into a little debate with Nate Kreckman during the little crossover there, because in the NFL coach, and I've talked to you about this and people about this a million times. I think there's a huge overvalue in special teams, gargantuan. You're trotting out $70 million quarterbacks, coacher. You're trotting out $26 million tackles. You know, guards that make $14 million, receivers that make $42 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're about to put hundreds of millions of dollars onto the fields. This is different in high school, in college, in the NFL. Right. So the degree that you have to have a great kick returner or punt returner is massively negated by the value of the offense that's trotting out onto the field. And I've had this argument with people forever, meaning the most important ingredient in special teams as a punt returner is catching the ball and making good decisions about what to do and when to do. Yeah. Kickoffs have become a little bit more interesting, and we're going to get into some proposed rule changes in a little bit. Right. But at the end of the day, it came up like, would you trade Marvin Mims for a third rounder? And I was like, yes. And Nate's argument was like, he's a Pro Bowl returner. I would never do that. That's dumb. And my point today was, you don't understand the value of the offense compared to the returner. And if you really look at return stats, coach, it's different, okay? It is relatively negligible by like a couple of yards between like the top guys and maybe the 20th best guy. Sure, there's probably a difference between the top guy and the 30th guy, but Marvin Mims last year, coacher, he was kind of in the middle there. He was around 16 or so yards a return.
Yeah, I don't care about Marvin Mims Jr., the special teams player, at all.
Me neither.
I could care less.
It certainly wouldn't be a reason to give up a third-round pick. Now, are you telling me you've got a bigger plan for Mims and Waddle together? Okay, I'm listening.
Now we're talking. And
Well,
and that's how I look at it. I look at Marvin Mims Jr. in the 2023 to 2025 seasons. If he was ever utilized offensively and the ball was thrown down the field, he was explosive and dynamic at the most consistent clip. But for whatever reason, and it's not intelligence. I know people that are very, very privy to Marvin Mims Jr., the human being. He is dang near like he's like a Mensa guy. Do you know that about him?
He strikes me as an intelligent guy, but yeah.
So it's not like he doesn't know the plays, and so I heard the argument that I think it was this morning on the morning show or yesterday on correct or what do they call it? The morning show. Kaner.
Okay.
There's too many acronyms. There's so many acronyms.
Okay.
MLK. There we go. Moshe Lombardi and Kane.
Yes.
That it's because he doesn't block well enough. Like his blocking metrics aren't high. I'm like,
insane.
This is the number one most frequent passing offense in pro football. Do you think they care about the freaking blocking metrics?
No, that's
and so what I see how I like in a West Coast offensive system. If you're an 11 personnel team, predominantly, Jalen Waddle is your Z. I think Marvin Mims is your F or your zebra. He's your slot.
All right.
Cortland Sutton is your X. I think your backup Z is. I stand by I think it's Troy Franklin.
Okay.
Because the speed. I think he does have and I think your backup X is Patrick Bryant.
Yeah.
And then your backup F, whatever. It's
whatever. Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me.
The interesting
Michael
question is okay. I tell you what, brother, if Bandy is actually activated for a game, we got some injury troubles, that's for sure. The interesting question to me, is there a possibility the top two receivers on your team are Marvin Mims and Jalen Waddle? Or is there a possibility, say in 12 personnel, that it's not automatically Sutton and Waddle out there? Like it could rotate. It sort of depends.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Could Cortland Sutton become somewhat the Jonas Valanciunas of the Denver Broncos, meaning it's a matchup situation, not an automatic situation?
In the famous words of our good friend Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. And I just don't think we're there yet. But
okay, fine.
Do I see a world that exists that could happen? Yeah. And in the world that exists is where Marvin Mims Jr. is given more at bats and more touches, and he's able to sit at the dinner table, and Sean/Davis Webb hands him a fork, a knife, a spoon, and actually hands him the plate with food on it and says, "Go eat, young man." Then and if that happens, I think you have two really, really dynamic speedsters that can create explosive plays. And if you do lean into the ground game more so than you did this year, or you did when you had a healthy J.K. Dobbins, you want guys that can blow the top off.
All right, but I'll tell you this. If we're in week 10 and all Marvin Mims is doing is returning punts, and you had a third round offer on the table and you didn't take it, you kind of blew it.
Yeah.
If you've got bigger plans for him, fine. No problem. I'd like to see it.
I got a theory.
Go ahead.
Davis Webb, fully in charge of the offense, sees the same things I think that a lot of us see about Marvin Mims Jr. and his ability to create explosive plays. And when he has been given that opportunity, he's actually delivered, I think. I mean, I believe he's delivered the goods. Whereas for whatever reason, man, Troy Franklin, he's bigger, way bigger. I mean, he's probably a half inch shorter than Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
Not as thick, but not that far off. I mean, Cortland Sutton's not as like, he's not Antonio, or he's not whatever his guy, Brown. I already forgot his name from AJ Brown, the guy from the Eagles. He's not built like that. He's not cock dieseled up 220 pounds at 6'1".
Cortland Sutton?
No, I'm saying.
Okay, but Cortland Sutton's pretty ripped. I mean,
he's big, he's ripped, but he's not. He doesn't. To me, he's still got a slender nature to him that, especially post injury, after he did his ACL, I think he is meticulous about not playing at too much of a bulked up weight because of the weight bearing component of being a bigger guy with knee history. And I think he's done a really good job of that. What I tell you is this: I think that I think that you're going to see more opportunities by using speed, and I think that you're going to see Marvin Mims Jr. And if for some reason none of them like him, I don't know why. I mean, I heard Sean use the word competes, which I've never heard that as a football term. He's got really good competes. I've never heard it plural. He's got good compete, but competes. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe Sean doesn't see competes with Marvin Mims Jr. I don't know. He sees it with Cortland, I think. But did you think Cortland Sutton had a bit of a disappointing year, 2025?
I love Cortland Sutton.
We all do.
I think he's been the same receiver more or less his entire career. Okay. I think he's a good possession receiver, really good. I think he's a good high point receiver.
Less this year, though. Do you agree? A little bit less this year?
He has a surprising amount of drops that kind of kill you because he doesn't create a lot of separation. He never has. And he's not a game breaker either. So was he down? I don't know. I just saw Cortland Sutton out there. I saw the same dude I've been seeing for his entire career.
Peak Cortland Sutton for me was 24 with Russell Wilson. 23 with Russell Wilson in the red zone theatrics of the touchdown making that he had. And there was a connection. It was a lot of off schedule playmaking with Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton, but it was a real thing. And then I think it fed into 24 is that Bo trusted Cortland by far the most of any receiver on that team.
Well, that means a lot.
Yeah. And I think I don't think that's changed, but I don't feel like down the stretch and in the playoffs, there's one game of Bo Nix in the playoffs, but I don't feel like Bo was saying, I got to get the ball to Cortland Sutton.
No.
It didn't feel that way.
Well, let me get to a couple of other things because there were a couple of visits that the Broncos have already had and are having that are really interesting. And we'll get to the proposed rule changes that are being floated past the NFL in a little bit. But give us a second about Journey Spice.
There's a world of flavor out there. And to find it, you have to take the journey. Journey Spice Company handcrafts the most premium spice and seasoning blends that have no sugar, no salt, are certified USDA organic, non-GMO, vegan-friendly, and always planet-friendly. You are going to love serving amazingly delicious creations while knowing you helped reduce single-use plastics. Make sure to search for Journey Spice Company on Amazon today.
This QR code right here takes you to Amazon.com. You can save 10% using the code Altitude26. No matter what your dinner feast is, it's better with Journey Spice, organic, no salt, no sugar, as you heard. And we love you, Journey Spice. So once again, right there in blammo, you're good. And yeah, Journey Spice comes in this great packaging. You just pinch the top, take it off, and slide it back on. I don't know if I can do this with my left hand because I'm not a lefty, but
just a little herb de Provence.
And then you're all set. Okay.
Emery's dialing up some spaghetti with a little Journey Spice.
Oh, nice. Do you know what she's using? What Journey Spice she's using?
I think it might be the Tuscan.
The Tuscan's good.
Might have a little Tuscan in there.
The Tuscan is good. I'm seeing if I guess I don't have any pictures of the Tuscan. Well, I got a bunch of stuff right here. But Tuscan is great. Tuscan is absolutely delicious. Thank you, Journey Spice. Okay, some other news. Broncos news going on here. Journey Spice, bam, right there. Visits. So on the Rich Eisen show, Eli Stowers said that he's going to have a visit with the Broncos.
I love that. Before we do, I think this is
what do you got?
I love our viewers. You think the Broncos are freeing up cap space for Journey Spice? Great job. Great work. Sam, you're the man.
That's great.
You're fantastic. All right. I got sidetracked with that banger right there.
All right. Stowers. I got like three different things for you. Stowers said on the Rich Eisen show, and he is the incredibly athletic tight end for Vanderbilt, that he has a visit with the Broncos, a top 30 visit with the Broncos, and he also met with them at the Combine. Will Stowers be available at 62?
Chance. There's a chance.
Okay.
It's I after watching him, 30 would have been a massive stretch. 62 might be too late to guarantee it.
All right.
That he's available.
Let me give you a couple. And by the way, in Field Yates' latest mock draft, he has Stowers going at pick 46.
Okay.
So 16 spots in front of 62.
In
not
Dan
impossible
Orlovsky's,
not impossible to get to, by the way.
now in Dan Orlovsky's mock draft, is that the one that Fernando Mendoza is going at pick 73?
And Ty Simpson's going number one.
Yeah, Ty Simpson, yeah.
I can't wait to see. Put your name on it, Dano, if you're going to do that.
Oh, he has. He's leaned all the way in.
Do a mock draft then. Really put your name on it. Do that, dude. Just don't be the
I think Dan knows that the Raiders are 100% picking Fernando Mendoza.
Of course, you look like a moron.
Yeah.
The Broncos did host a visit with Jude Bowery, 6'5", 314 offensive tackle.
Not that time.
From Boston College.
I know nothing about the prospect, but I can.
What do you think about the concept?
I think it's smart. I think it's smart. I think that Alex Palczewski, while he's a very good swing tackle, and he's essentially been long term by the franchise, and that was a great move. I think that Palcho might actually be slated as potentially next man up inside. I think they liked what they saw with him as an interior offensive lineman, and then potentially develop Garrett Bowles and or Mike McGlinchey's heir apparent. You're getting to that point in time, where you got to start thinking about those types of things. An offensive tackle, I think higher than the 5th round will get drafted by the Broncos. Hot take. Heard it here first.
I wouldn't be against it in the context of who else is available.
Right.
If Stowers was available and you didn't, I'd be upset. In that mock draft by Field Yates, he has Josiah Trotter, inside linebacker from Missouri. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on Trotter and what he's all about. I get it. That's a depth piece. However, in his mock, he has Jadarian Price going a couple of picks later. That would bother me.
Yeah, but do you think there might be a little bit of is Jadarian Price a little RJ Harvey-ish?
My guy's Mike Washington, okay?
Yeah, he's big. He's bigger and fast.
Because I'm looking for bigger.
Yeah, he's 6'2", right? He's 6'2", 228.
Yes. By the time he starts with the NFL, he'll be 230. There's no doubt.
And he ran stupid.
Yeah, he ran a 4.33. Listen, that will go down because obviously he's training specifically for the combine. But whatever. The possibility of explosive speed at that size will be his calling card no matter what. And his desire and ability to stick it between, the A gap, where I think RJ Harvey's hesitant in that. I think J.K. Dobbins does a better job, but we all think J.K. Dobbins is going to get hurt. I think the Broncos are going to balance a coach just by not running J.K. Dobbins that much this year, in all honesty. So I think that's how they balance it. So in my mind, if you can get Stowers, if you can get him in the 2nd round, and then you move into the 3rd round somehow and get Mike Washington, unless you can just read the draft the right way, and in the 4th round get Mike Washington, that's what I want. If we're doing developmental inside linebackers and offensive tackles at that spot, coacher, I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like, I want to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
I want guys who can contribute this year in the 2nd and 3rd round. You want to talk about 4th round and deeper? Okay, sure. You got me. I trust you. Go with whatever you want, including perhaps a quarterback. And I think you should check out Taylon Green from Arkansas. It's an interesting guy in the 6th, 7th round, something like that. But I'm kind of steadfast where we don't have a 1st round pick, coach. I still want somebody impactful in that 2nd round, and I want him to be aggressive to move into the 3rd round if there's still somebody else. I still think you can get offensive playmakers in this draft that can make a difference.
Pat Bryant was drafted in what round?
3rd, and that was a stretch. He could have easily been picked up in the 4th
because of the time, right? The 40-yard dash was horrific.
They loved him. He's good. He's okay. I mean, he's kind of just like there was like a huge chunk
It's
of the season that he had like 10 catches on the entire year. Like we're in week 11 or 12, coach, and he's got like 10 catches. And I'm like, all right. He did have 3 catches in the AFC Championship game right in a row, and then he got hurt, which was like, oh, well, that sucks. But they overvalued RJ Harvey. They overvalued
no question.
They overvalued Pat Bryant, and they thought they were getting a bargain with Jahdae Barron. That's total wasted first round pick. So yeah. I don't want to see that again. I think last year's draft actually for the Broncos sucked. The best thing you got out of that was a punter.
Yeah,
so
punter, and I think that Q Robinson is going to end up being maybe the steal of the draft.
Awesome. He's a 4th round guy. He great, because that's what I want out of 4th and 5th round guys, coach. That's what I want. I want a taste of it in the first year, and then let's go.
Second and third rounders should have, I think, major impact. Now,
I agree.
We could, my guy Raj does at times have a point. RJ Harvey led all rookies in touchdowns. He was a touchdown.
I don't care about that.
That's my take too. Like a lot of those touchdowns, I looked at them. They were inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, bro. Okay.
I want my running back to be able to consistently run the ball in the schemes that are being called for the entire game. That's what I want.
Touchdowns are a weird stat. It can be it can kind of be like sacks. Sacks can be impactful, or you could touch a guy who falls down at the 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. Right. I mean, I don't know. Let's talk about I would so much rather have you're at the 10-yard line, it's 3rd and 4, and you hand the ball to the guy and he gets first down. Like that's great. That's like a great run. You could give it to all sorts of guys and they'll just walk into the end zone. I mean, I don't really care. And I don't care about 50, 60-yard bangers from running backs either. I don't give a shit about that. That's why you have receivers in the NFL.
So Darren, when you think about the potential for 2nd and 3rd round picks for the Broncos, and what you just did is you essentially got a running back in the 2nd and a receiver in the 3rd.
Yeah.
And you maybe got a taste of what that really looks like. Not that impactful, right? Not overly impactful. So if you're talking 2nd and 3rd rounders and we're getting too caught up in running backs, we're getting too caught up in wide receivers, and I don't think receivers really going to enter the fray this year at all. The one area that the Broncos just have not recently attempted to test the market in the 2nd round is the tight end position. And there is quality in the 2nd round at the tight end position. There just is.
Besides Stowers, who else should we be looking at?
Well, I'm talking about historically. Okay.
Okay.
I'm taking a little bit of a historical context. If tight ends historically have usually been the first one is drafted in the 2nd round, sometimes even like middle to late. That's changed a little bit. There's been a run of freak show tight ends, and Travis Kelce kind of changed the game forever. And
the Broncos tried with Greg Dulcich and it didn't work out. The guy was always hurt, and he's gone on to play for a couple teams.
And they also tried with their boy from Iowa too.
Which one was that?
Ended up at Noah Fant.
That was a 1st round guy.
That's what I'm saying.
They
have tried.
When you draft a tight end in the 1st round, it's like I better see 7 throws a game to that guy. I mean, why else you got him?
Which is what think about Brock Bowers and what he accomplished his rookie year.
Right. Although the team sucked, but sure.
It sucked, yeah.
Sure.
And then think about this past year. I mean, Tyler Warren, when Daniel Jones was rolling, Tyler Warren was like must-see TV as a tight end.
Yeah, Colson Loveland was great too.
Especially as the year progressed, right? As he got his feet underneath him and got healthy, he was very good in the postseason. But that's the tight end. Gosh, I could. There's a couple different names that are out there. To say that I've done a ton of research on all of them is not true. The guy that I've watched a lot is Eli Stowers. That's the guy I've watched a lot.
All right, let me go through a couple of other things. I don't know if you can hear Cat Cave, my wife, screaming down there. The Avs are winning. She is.
I'm
Hollering.
watching the background here. So Avs are up 4-1. There was a
Oh.
goal scored by the Pens that
Did they
was
take it away?
was disallowed on the challenge. So
That must be her recent
interference.
orgasmic like scream, because it certainly wasn't to do with me. Proposed rules. You ready for this?
Give it to me.
Now I'm laughing because the first 3 are all about kickoffs. So 1, kicking team can declare an onside kick at any time. That to me is a no duh. You should be able to do that whenever you want. Agree or disagree? I'll just go through them one by one. Agree. Okay. They got to eliminate the kicking team's incentive to intentionally kick the ball out of bounds when kicking off for the 50-yard line. This is a quirky thing. If you get a 15-yard penalty for something and the ball's at the 50, you just kick the ball out of bounds and you start at the 20-yard line? Yeah, I think it's the 20.
Yeah.
That's dumb. But they don't have like a solution for that. They're just saying we've got to eliminate the incentive. So they don't really have a solution.
I think you just put the ball to 35 no matter what. A kickoff out of bounds goes to 35.
So we can just wail away on each other.
Yeah.
on extra points and 2-point conversions. We just do whatever we want. Like it's Mad Max. Nothing matters in that situation then because there's no penalty.
I mean,
I've got a solution to all this, by the way. I got a solution to all this. Hold on, one more. To modify the kickoff alignment requirements for the receiving team players in the setup zone. I'm not even sure what that means. Like the kickoff alignment requirements by receiving team players. So something's not right. Coach, let me tell you this. When you're working this hard, you know what the solution is?
Go back to what it was.
I'd get rid of kickoffs. I would get rid of kickoffs. It is not what it used to be. I think it's stupid. You definitely got more returns because of what you've done. But this solution has been floated for like 20 years at this point. Yeah. And if you score, it is 1st and 15 at your own 30-yard line, let's say. Now, what would most teams do? Punt. Most teams would punt. And everybody knows a punt is a way more interesting football play than a kickoff. Kickoffs suck. And you're working too hard to figure this out. Just simply give the ball to the team. You scored. It's 4th and 15 at your own 30-yard line. That means you're probably punting from the 15. That means it's going to the other 15. And then we're playing football. We're ultimately playing football. And you don't have kickoffs to start games, coacher. You just flip a coin. If you win the toss, you get the ball at the, 35-yard line, whatever you want to put it at.
25.
Play football.
25.
Okay, fine. 25. Put it at the 25.
35 is kind of ridiculous.
Put it at the 25. You're spending gajillions. You got a $70 million quarterback and a $42 million wide receiver. We should be able to get some first downs, right? Between the 25. Started at the 25. It's the NFL. We're working too hard, in my opinion, on all of this kickoff crap. And I don't know how much of a die-in-the-wool kickoff guy you are, but the fact of the matter, special teams in the NFL, the kickers are too good. And this is different than high school and college. High school and college, the kickers aren't that good. So it's way more complicated. You, as a high school coach, what you have to deal with special teams must drive you nuts. Crazy.
Yeah. Especially because it's like the one phase of the game I know so little about in terms of like the intricacies of kickoff coverage units and the punt return team and
all
punt
of that
protection. Like it's nothing I've coached. Like quarterback. We weren't involved in anything special teams wise except for holding a kick on an extra point and a field goal.
So that's my solution. They're never going to do it because they just think kicking the ball to start a game means something. It doesn't. It does not mean a damn thing. Like when I'll go to flag football. Like when they had a defensive stop, they don't take the ball where it was stopped. They just take it back to like the 15-yard line. Like, all right, here you go, your ball. Now you go.
So Darren, on Sunday, Altitude After Dark, I coached in a youth football game up in Boulder. It was at CU. It was in the indoor facility. We used CU's outdoor practice fields to, it was, 4th grade through 8th grade, best players in the state of Colorado and in the youth level, high school coaches from all over the state would coach teams. Myself, Jeremy Bennett from Mullen, Montbello High School, no Smoky Hill, DMac. So don't get mad and get, Smoky Hill could have been there.
Yeah,
could have been talking to their people, but
don't even get me started there.
The game itself, okay, coin toss, ball went on the 20-yard line.
Love it.
And we played football. And then guess what? And then we kicked field goals. And how about this? This was kind of a neat deal because the youth kicking is not great.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So a field goal is worth 4 points.
Okay.
Okay. Field goal is worth 4 points. And then if you scored a touchdown, and an extra point was worth 2, and there was no rush. There were no rushing of the kick. It was just a pure kick. Had to be kicked by 3 seconds, and then an actual 2-point conversion was worth 1 point. To try to incentivize, and then you want to hear about punting? This is how we did it.
Sure.
You had to be at least 7 yards behind the long snapper. You had 3 seconds to get the ball off, and you were allowed 2 returners back there. And wherever the ball ended up, that's where the next drive started. And so whether you caught it, whether it rolled, and then you had to down it, whatever, but nobody was covering. It was literally just a long snapper and a punter, and it was glorious.
I love it.
This makes sense. This makes sense. Like,
I love it.
What are we doing?
I don't know, but when you have to propose, you've made all these changes, and then 3 out of the 5 new rules are more changes to your stupid kickoffs, coach.
Yeah,
you're just saying this doesn't work. Like, this is broken. It's not good. Let me give you the other rule changes here real quick. See if you care about any of these. Allow league personnel. Think about this for a second. League personnel, so somebody in an office somewhere, to consult with on-field officials when considering disqualifications for both flagrant football acts and non-football acts without being called on the field. So we're going to have the eye in the sky spy on things that weren't caught that break some sort of rules for some sort of disqualification. Yikes. What do you think of that?
I like it. I'd rather have it be punitive in the middle of the game than just a fine. What does a fine really do for anybody? Like I'm talking about like if you're stomping on somebody, or you're doing the Christian Wilkins where you're grabbing another man's junk at the bottom of a pile, or you're giving the most thorough oil check, or you're wrist deep in the area where the sun doesn't shine. Like,
you're not going to see that as an official on the field.
No, get him out.
And you shouldn't be on the field.
Get him out.
Okay.
Honestly, like nobody wants to play with that guy like that. Honestly, it's kind of played out that nobody wants to be on the team. Nobody wants to be a teammate of Christian Wilkins.
So we can say this is the oil check rule.
Oil check rule, 100%.
Oil check rule.
Yep.
So if you're doing slimy little stuff that it's reasonable not going to be seen by officials.
This could be called the moist William, the wet Willie rule. If you're giving out wet willies in the bottom of a pile.
Yeah, onto the rear chassis. All right, which is weird that we're even talking like this, right? Like this is a thing. This is a thing. Last one here. For 1 year only, allow the NFL officiating department to correct clear and obvious misses made by on-field officials that impact the game in the event there is a work stoppage involving game officials represented by the NFL Referees Association. Wow.
Yeah,
so the NFL is considering a rule to straighten things out if there's shitty referees out there.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Wow.
Although, don't you think NFL officials are the best of any of the officials in any sport?
Wow, that's a good question.
I do. I mean, coming from high school and my whole career being in college, college officiating was bad. High school officiating is not great either. I love all of them, but it's a challenge, man. The NFL, they're pros, man. I mean, they get I watch NFL officiating in real time, and I marvel at some of the calls they make and how they can see things, and just the thorough nature of what they call.
All right. By the way, let me play one last thing for you. If we're just talking about officials, my favorite moment of the flag football is this moment right here, where the referees did actually make a mistake in terms of it's third down, not fourth down. And
see you, Buffs.
This is a great
RIP.
What?
Thinking fifth down. The CU Buffs, man. Fifth down.
Okay.
Against Missouri, wasn't it?
This is my favorite moment of Sean Payton screaming at flag football referees.
Every flag's been on us. I got an official telling me it's third down, and at the snap, he's saying fourth down. You guys got to be better. That's inexcusable.
Dude, it's so funny. I just lived that at a youth football game where the total penalty count in just an arbitrary game officiated by Chassa officials was 9-0. And I looked at Kirk, the guy. He's a fantastic ref, but he did a bunch of our games. He did our semifinal game against Cherry Creek, and I go, Kirk, this is comical at this point. This is hilarious. How fun! And I was the same thing. We can't help ourselves. Coaches can't help themselves.
Can't help yourself.
No matter if there's nothing tangible on the line.
Can't help yourself.
Cannot help ourselves.
All right. Last one. We'll praise a referee, and I know you guys made a big deal of this on your radio show. But one of the greater calls of all time.
He's giving 5 balls, 5 minutes each for Chuck and Knox. Chuck and Knox, okay.
Chuck and Knox, baby.
Chuck and Knox, man. How great is that?
Equivalent of he was giving him the business, which has happened a few times over the course of NFL and college football history with officials.
By the way, I want to give one. I lied. I want to give you one more. First of all, happy birthday to Peyton Manning. It's 50 years.
Hey,
old
50.
There you go. There you go, Sheriff. There you go, my friend. That's what 50
Sheriff,
looks like.
His son Marshall got a little social media run this week.
Yeah, you know what though? I'm gonna stay away from that. I'm fine if you want to talk about it, but like,
he looked good. It was fun.
He did. I
shot Marshall a message because I know he's just he moved out to Tennessee, and I was like, hey man, you're looking clean, brother.
That's awesome.
And he said, thanks, coach. So I've never met the kid. Just I'm rooting for him.
I am too. I'm just trying to keep my comments about teenagers in high school in the media to a minimum. That's all. And I think with him in particular, with such a famous dad, like, well, let's just let it play out.
It's really easy to go too far either way.
Yeah.
It's the bottom line.
I'll just keep it there. I just want to point this moment out. Marvin Mims, first of all, he goes to shoot the free throw. Let me give you the free throw, which wasn't great. So he goes to shoot. He had quite a day over the weekend. He goes to shoot the free throw. Watch.
Taking today's first shot from your Denver Broncos, Marvin.
Not terrible. Not terrible. You can tell he's hooped before.
But then he goes to do the interview with Vic Lombardi. And while he's being interviewed, this is Marvin Mims being interviewed by Vic Lombardi. And they're putting Jalen Waddle stats in a huge screen behind him. I was just like, oh, man.
They don't play the same position, man.
I get it. But, like, Vic's line of questioning was all about,
I loved it.
What's going on here?
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what he gave us?
What did he give us?
He gave us something to talk about and break down all week.
That's what I'm talking about. And we've done that.
You know what that is? You know what that's all about? You want to know what Vic Lombardi did?
What did he do?
He gave us a chance to kill you with truth, man.
He's giving 5 balls, 5 minutes each for Chuck and Knox. Chuck and Knox, okay.